Hi, welcome to Julius Bar. Today I'm gonna try to recreate the best drink I had in Dublin. So, I've been to Dublin a little more than a month ago. As you can see from my new pins, I think I have a Jameson pin and I have a Tilling pin because I visited the distilleries. And while I was there, I also managed to visit a few good bars. In this bar called the Blind Pig, I think, which is kind of a hidden bar. They have this kind of a gimmick that you don't know what it is. I mean, they have a website, they are on Google Maps, but once you arrive there, you don't really know where the door is. So I called them, and then they were making like kind of a problem, like, who are you? They are really secretive, and I think this is a bit of a bullshit move, but anyway, they had some good drinks. And my favorite drink I had there was called the French Connection. Now, I was a bit tipsy at the time, but I managed to take a picture of their menu. And once I came back to Japan, I was like, let's try to recreate this cocktail. And because I didn't see them making the drink, I didn't have anything except for the list of ingredients in the menu. I was like, this is gonna be a really hard cocktail to recreate. Like, for example, when I tried to recreate the Sherry Lady, it took me a month. But guess what? This time, it was a simple Manhattan variation and it took me a couple of tries. So let's start recreating this recipe. As I said, it's just a Manhattan variation in the end, with fancy ingredients, but that's about it. And we start from the Creole bitters, and Creole bitters is just Peychaud, and I'm gonna use one dash of this. And then there's something called honey elixir in the ingredient list, and I don't know what a honey elixir is, but I was just like, I bet in this cocktail, actually maple syrup is gonna taste good. So I'm going to use some maple syrup in the amount of half a teaspoon. I mean, this is supposed to be a Manhattan style cocktail, in my opinion. So half a teaspoon of maple syrup is gonna go a long way in making this more mellow. And then the original recipe had some absinthe. I skipped it. Well, it's okay. I thought I didn't need it in my recipe. For the more exotic ingredient is this Pineau de Charentes. Pineau de Charentes, I don't know much of anything about this thing, but it's an aperitif they make in France, in the region of Cognac. They squeeze some grapes, and instead of fermenting them like you would for the wine, they just add cognac in it. And probably other things, I don't know, I'm not sure. This specific Pineau de Charentes is 17% ABV. It's called François Peyrot. It's amber color. It's really fruity and nice. It tastes almost like a fruit punch with honey in it. And it's pretty good actually. I enjoy it even just like that with some sparkling wine. It's pretty nice. So I'm happy about it. And in this case we are going to need 50 milliliters of this Pineau de Charentes. And then we finish with another kind of fancy ingredient, which in the original recipe was called Cacao Butter French Brandy Blend. And what I did, I got some bottom shelf brandy, and I just cocoa washed it with cocoa butter. Basically, what you do, you grab some cocoa butter or cacao butter. This stuff is just the fat from the butter. You take 1 part of this to 10 parts of brandy. I follow a recipe I found on Kevin Cost to butter wash stuff. You melt this stuff, you add it to the brandy, you mix it for 1 hour, then you put it in the freezer, then you strain it with a coffee filter, and that's about it. You're gonna be left with some butter, which I use to make cookies, which are somewhere on the table. I had it this morning, excellent cookies, because they got a bit of a cognac that was left in the butter, so those are pretty good. And then you're left with some cocoa buttered cognac, which has like a significant cocoa flavor, but it's definitely different from infusing a rum or a cognac with cacao nibs. This is a different way of adding flavor. A nice one. By the way, we're gonna need 45 milliliters of this cocoa butter washed brandy. Then we're just gonna need some ice. And then we are gonna give this a stir. By the way, the original recipe proposed by the Blind Pig is called the French Connection, like the 1971 award-winning movie starring Gene Hackman, which I never saw. But I decided to call my version of a cocktail because I ended up changing a few things and I don't even know if it's anything close to the original. I was a bit tipsy when I drank that. And I exchanged the honey for the maple and I'm not using absinthe. So my cocktail is gonna be called Pelham 123 after the taking of Pelham 123, a 1974 thriller movie which shared a filming location in the underground of New York with the French Connection. For more on that movie, meet me after the credits. So let's strain this in a chilled glass. I think the original French Connection had some lemon peel expression on top, but I don't think it quite matches my version with the maple syrup. I'm just gonna keep it like this. I will really add a maraschino cherry if I will bother, but I don't think I'm gonna bother today. So there you go, a Pelham 123. Cheers. Yeah, yes, the cocoa feeling to it, but it's not overpowering. I guess that's what the fat washing with the cocoa butter brings to the table. It's not overtly cacao flavor. It's kind of cacao flavor. And I think this Pineau de Charentes matches really well this cocktail. Well, after all, it's a aperitif based around cognac itself, so we are adding brandy and cognac, we are keeping everything in the same category. The maple syrup, man, I just found it really nice, matches great with the cocoa flavor. And the Peychaud bitters just gives a tiny bit of spiciness and a tiny bit of anise flavor that gives some other complexity to the cocktail. It's a really nice drink, I like it. And it was really easy to recreate. I mean, maybe it's really different in the end from what they serve at a Blind Pig. Not quite sure, cannot remember perfectly, but this version is pretty good. Just another Manhattan variation. Even though the cocoa washed cognac changes greatly the character of the drink. Doesn't quite taste like a Manhattan anymore. So if you enjoyed the video, please like, subscribe, comment down below, share with anybody you like and don't like. Steal yourself another Manhattan variation. I have so many on my channel. Just go and check some out. And hopefully I will see you next time. Cheers. So the taking of Pelham 123, it's a 1974 movie, as I said. It stars more famously Walter Matthau, but it's really an ensemble cast. The movie is pretty good and it's pretty gritty, like cold blood killing, uses of the N-word and racist slurs between characters in a really realistic manner for the time. And I think that's why this movie was a great inspiration for actually Quentin Tarantino and his Reservoir Dogs. This movie shares a few situations, in fact, with Reservoir Dogs, and especially the names of the bandits. Mr. Blue, Mr. Green, Mr. Grey, and Mr. Brown, I think, in this story. Then in Reservoir Dogs we have Mr. Blonde, Orange, Pink. We have different colors, but the concept of bandits calling each other by this generic nickname, Tarantino lifted it straight out of this movie, Pelham 1, 2, 3. And also, I think Tarantino must have liked, because it's a tight movie. It's a tight movie, entertaining, and yeah, it's pretty gritty. Like they don't back down from some uneasy situation. Actually, at some point, a kid gets slapped on the face. I was like, what? That's not politically correct, but totally believable for the time the story was taking place. And also, the movie has some funny moments, especially when the politicians are involved or some people higher up. It's really well structured and really well written. It's a good movie. By the way, Pelham reminds me that Pelham Blue is one of the beautiful colors offered by the Gibson custom shop. It's kind of a blue metallic, pretty rare in older models from Gibson because it was just a custom order. But most famously, you might have seen it in a Dave Grohl custom Trini Lopez guitar, which was Pelham Blue color. A beautiful guitar, which now I checked online, it goes for more than $20,000. I don't know, it's an insane price, but Gibson custom shop is like, they are selling gold.